Growing up, my family would have pork cutlets more often than chicken because they're much cheaper, have more flavor, and they're easy to get paper thin so each bite is crispy and delicious. Let's begin with a few boneless pork chops. Take a sharp knife and begin slowly slicing off each layer. Drag the blade through the pork using your other hand to pull away the cut flap and continue slicing right underneath it until the cutlet is even and thin all the way through. The colder and more firm the pork is, the easier it will be to cut. And don't worry if some pieces tear, because that will just make for more interesting and crispy bites. Once all the pork is cut up, crack 2 eggs into a large bowl and add a few dashes of hot sauce along with 1 tablespoon of chopped parsley, 3 tablespoons of grated Parmesan cheese, a half teaspoon of cracked black pepper, and a pinch of salt. Then just whisk it all together with a fork. Drop in the cutlets and mix them around very well to ensure each piece is coated in the egg, and let that sit for about 15 to 20 minutes so it can absorb some of those flavors. In the meantime, combine 1.25 cups of plain breadcrumbs in a large baking dish with a 1/4 cup of grated Parmesan cheese, a half teaspoon of salt, and 2 more tablespoons of chopped Italian parsley. When the meat is ready, lay each cutlet out flat on the bed of breadcrumbs, then sprinkle some over the top so when you begin pushing them in, you won't get any egg on your hands. Pat in the crumbs fairly hard to create a nice crust, but also to pound the meat out even further to get it as thin as possible. Since the pork is so tender, this technique allows us to skip using a meat mallet. Flip each one around a couple times so no spot remains uncovered, and place them into your finished pile. When making a lot of cutlets like this, it's much easier if you mix all the meat with the egg first and use a large dish to bread them so you have plenty of space to work with. By the time each cutlet is breaded, they should have grown in size a good amount. Pour in about 1 inch of oil to a skillet with high sides. I'm using mainly sunflower oil along with a good amount of olive oil for extra flavor. Once the oil is at 350 degrees, you can slowly slip in the cutlets a few at a time. Nudge them around at first so there's no sticking, then just let them fry for about 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes before flipping them over and letting them go for another minute on the second side. They're so thin, they should really only take 3 minutes total. Have a wired rack at the ready so you can place them on when they're finished to drain the excess oil and remain crispy. Each time you drop in a new batch of cutlets, it will bring down the temperature of the oil slightly, so make sure you're adjusting your heat accordingly. The main thing you're watching for is a light golden brown color on both sides. Hit them with a final pinch of salt right after you take them out of the oil. And I like to finish mine with a squeeze of lemon. Please leave any questions or thoughts in the comments and let me know if you plan on trying these out. Thank you for watching.